We are ready for the introductions. Let's go to Ed Darien.
From the beautiful showroom here at the Tropicana Hotel and Casino, soon to be named Trop World Casino and Resort, here in the boxing capital of the world of Atlantic City, New Jersey. Super Fights Unlimited, Jerry Cooney and Dennis Rappaport promoters and Mike Ackley matchmaker present this evening's main event, scheduled for 10 rounds, and it's in a heavyweight division. The judges, John Riley, Phil Newman, and Milo Savage. Counting for the knockdown seconds, alternate referee Double S Steve Smoger. The timekeeper to bell is Arthur Spell. In the ring at this time, the man in charge of the scheduled 10-round heavyweight bout, referee Paul Venti. And now, my good friends, introducing the principals. First, in the red corner, wearing the black trunks with the gold trim. He tipped in at an even 225 pounds. This young man has 18 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw, with 13 knockouts. A native of Havana, Cuba, and now residing in West New York, New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome aboard Carlos Hernandez. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing the red trunks with the white and blue trim. He weighed in at an even 245 pounds. This gentleman has 54 wins, 2 losses with 51 knockouts. The former heavyweight champion of the world, all the way from Humboldt, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, here is George Foreman.
And the comparison between these two heavyweights, Foreman, who is taking a page out of Jack Benny, still says he is 39. And Carlos Hernandez, who is more comfortable as a cruiserweight, is now a full-blown heavyweight at 225.
The big difference in that comparison is the height and reach advantage. Hernandez at 6'0", 1/2 inch, and Foreman at 6'3" has the advantage in reach, 80 inches for Foreman, only 72 for this man, Carlos Hernandez.
Hernandez doesn't want to wait too long before he hears that bell. No secrets as far as his strategy is concerned. He will go right at Foreman. Hernandez, who has power in both hands, he had some problems as far as training was concerned over the course of the last few years. Now he's with the Michael Spinks camp, and there is the power. With the left, goes right at Foreman. Hernandez staggers Foreman in the opening seconds.
Exactly what Hernandez said that he was going to do. He said he wasn't going to do anything special, just go out and fight Foreman.
He has been imitating Mike Tyson as a sparring partner for Spinks. He's been going 3-4 rounds a day against Michael Spinks heading into this one, looking for roundhouses. Foreman, in his first 9 fights, criticized for being too slow and the poor quality of his opponents. This is the best opponent he has faced. Muhammad Qawi, who was Dwight Qawi, actually the biggest name he has faced, but he had certainly ballooned and was out of his game.
And Foreman is extremely slow. Hernandez went out, feinted the left jab, and came around with a wide hook. After Foreman tried to wipe away that jab, he dropped his right hand, left himself open.
And consider Foreman is in the best shape in his comeback bid, down to 245, and he is being hit by Hernandez, just teeing off and connecting. We are just about halfway through round number 4, and Hernandez could be quickly stealing the first round.
Foreman carrying his hands very low. Smartly, Hernandez going downstairs to the body on Foreman. He sees the weight that Foreman's carrying today.
At the weigh-in this morning, Hernandez a little bit intimidated when he saw Foreman. He did not expect him to be in good shape.
And I have to look at Foreman. Gosh, 15 years ago, he was such a technician. He wouldn't have gotten hit with those big punches that he's getting hit with tonight.
Foreman, who says he can beat Mike Tyson now. Foreman living at this point in a fantasy land, having his hands full in this first round with Carlos Hernandez. Foreman still has one thing, as Sean pointed out before, the big punch, and that's what he's looking for there. Ooh, the left shakes up Hernandez. It was a left jab shook him up.
And Hernandez psychologically trying to tell Foreman, you didn't hurt me, come on, hit me. Shaking his head at Foreman. Foreman still has that power, and Hernandez showing us some power. He staggered Foreman here in this first round, putting pressure on Foreman and hitting him into the body well.
Foreman may have been hit in this first round more than he has in his first 9 fights. Hernandez down, no, a push. Hernandez waves it off, as does referee Paul Venti.
That was just a push. Anything you can do to get your opponent on the ground, that's what Foreman is doing. Just even if you have to push him down, make him visit that canvas. Let him get used to it and let him like it.
Showing you the strength of George Foreman. Hernandez, 6 feet, 225 pounds. And he has to be very pleased with the first.
That's right. To give him that first round, Foreman, one of the greatest technicians from earlier days, and terrific balance. Here he is, Hernandez coming in with that big left hook. That set the pace of that first round. Foreman staggered. What he did on that left hook, he feinted it to the body, then he came up to the head. Foreman with the big left hand, boom! Hernandez just shook that off. He shook his head, come on, let's fight. Tough kid, Carlos Hernandez.
Keep in mind, the last time George Foreman hit the canvas was 11 years ago in his final fight in 1977 against Jimmy Young.
Foreman standing up in the corner, trying to get as much air into his lungs as possible. Second round action. Hernandez,
very little amateur background. He had only 3 fights, one of which was a victory over Marvis Frazier. He had been going from trainer to trainer, having problems in fights, not getting warm, and losing quickly. We mentioned to Eddie Gregg in a big fight, to Boone Poltz in the USBA Cruiserweight title fight. But he is now in the best shape of his life. He has never had a regular training program. He is now in the Michael Spinks camp. He's sparring with Spinks. He's being taught by Spinks. He's being watched by Eddie Futch. And this could be, for Carlos Hernandez, the biggest moment in his life. It is still very early, and it is George Foreman. Looks like he is going through the motions so far in the early stages, not upset with being rocked in the early minute of the first round.
Foreman is picking his shots. He is not wasting any punches at all. Every punch that he throws lands, and it lands on a pressure point. Right there, right on the temple of the head. Every shot counts. A marksman in those punches. And he has to be at age 40. He can't afford to swing wildly. Not only does he have that punching power, but also he has that experience.
Most of the experts say Foreman has to step in against a top 10 opponent to see exactly where he is. Foreman says none of them will fight him. Well, last night we had 2 of them, Razor Ruddock and Pinklin Thomas, who says that Foreman won't fight them.
And Foreman pushing back on Hernandez like he did on Joe Frazier right there. That's what he says that he can do against Tyson and eventually knock Tyson out. Carlos Hernandez shaking it off.
And you have seen the incredible strength of Foreman. His best punch so far tonight has been the jab.
Hernandez rallying back. He's not giving up. A pivot by Hernandez. Hernandez has been working out in Spinks training camp. Michael Spinks. Eddie Futch is in the corner. The same corner man for Spinks. Big right hand by Foreman. Hernandez came into this fight with a swelled left eye. From the right hands of Foreman, it has swelled up bigger. We could see that eye close and maybe even cut. Right on it again, Foreman throws that right hand. Again, right on the right hand.
So far, Foreman, ho-hum, going about his manner, trying to dissect a game Carlos Hernandez.
Foreman not really worrying about the power here in the second round, just trying to land those punches, get your opponent used to getting hit and make him like it.
Yeah, there goes the mouthpiece. In here for Tyson and Spinks, and to watch George Foreman tonight, Richard Pryor and Donald Trump, who made it all happen at the Trump Plaza tomorrow night. We are in round 3. former heavyweight champion George Foreman at the age of 40, looking to get into a position where he one day would fight Mike Tyson. Many of the critics just scoff at it. George Foreman taking himself seriously.
Hernandez doing just exactly what he told us he would do. Nothing spectacular, just basic boxing. That's what he's trying to do.
What he's trying to do is to move left and stay away from Foreman's right. Foreman's most effective punch, so this time, has been the left. The jab. The jab just moving Hernandez back. And Sean, Foreman going at it methodically. Feels he is in no danger, although he was staggered, knocked off balance in the first round. He may be fooling himself when he starts talking about going up against Tyson. A swing and a miss by Hernandez. Tell me, how slow does George Foreman look to you?
Even though he looked quick in making Carlos Hernandez miss that punch, that left hook, he is still extremely slow, and he wants to fight a fighter who is extremely fast in Mike Tyson.
Most experts feel that Foreman has not faced 9 opponents, but 9 live bodies. But what happens when he goes up against a faster opponent who's going to be able to get in on him?
But I'll tell you what, if Tyson stands there and lets Foreman get off on him, Foreman will knock him out. Foreman can knock any fighter in the world out if they stand there and let him do it, including Carlos Hernandez.
Hernandez won his first 13 fights. He was a ranked cruiserweight, but then was stopped in the first round by Eddie Gregg for the New York State heavyweight title. He feels better as a cruiserweight, but now he's at 225. He was stopped on cuts in the 7th round by Ricky Parkey, and the bell sounds with a minute to go. There was a minute to go. A short round, no complaints by Foreman. And there is the clock still counting down the 3rd round. Well, I can understand being off a couple of seconds or so, but a whole minute off as we take a look at the timekeepers trying to figure that one out.
And he is shaking his head. He knows he blew it. He just missed the count. They're keeping time on a stopwatch, and they watched that thing go around 3 times, and he just missed the count. It went around only 2 times.
Well, we'll send him a Christmas present of the digital stopwatch.
He knows it, too. They are human.
And George Foreman has no complaints. At this point, I think he'd like to go 2 minutes every round. There's the clock still ticking it off. And this should be the end of the 3rd round right now. How ironic, last night in our Super Fights 1, Hector Camacho knocked down for the first time in his career in round number 1. And here tonight, Foreman staggered in round number 1. But we have proceeded on to round 4.
Now Foreman coming out this round with a little bit more intent on his face. Oh, and he's putting those combinations together. Look at the rotation of Foreman.
Oh, Hernandez staggered, just trying to get away from Foreman, and Foreman let him collect himself. Now Hernandez trying to turn it on. He knows that it is a matter of time.
The best defense is a good offense, and that's what Hernandez is trying to do. Foreman, the split-second timing, all that power, all that weight, comes from clinching of that fist, blocking of the elbow.
Oh, Hernandez cannot stand in there with Foreman. Foreman just walking away from it. Hernandez says, come on, I can take it. Who's fooling who?
Hernandez showing battle scars. Both eyes showed swelling. He's got black eyes underneath both the eyes.
And now his mouthpiece is gone. We're just a minute 15 into the round. George Foreman telling the referee, you better stop it now. What more do you want me to do to him?
Foreman's telling the referee to pick up his mouthpiece. The mouthpiece of Carlos Hernandez came flying out with those combination Foreman is throwing. Hernandez, on the other hand, trying to press Foreman, takes a big uppercut.
And that is it. Hernandez once more. Hernandez has been knocked into the twilight zone. Life, he does not want it stopped here. Halfway through round number 4, it ends. George Foreman started his comeback at 325 pounds.
And Foreman isn't even breathing hard.
He went down to 245, a major accomplishment for this fight. He has had safe opponents. This the 10th victory and 10th knockout in his comeback. Carlos Hernandez, very game. Once ranked as a cruiserweight. He is probably fighting out of position as a heavyweight. He staggered Foreman in round number 1. Foreman just shook it off and methodically went about things through the next few rounds, and here in the 4th, ended it. The left jab was hurting Hernandez, and you're seeing tonight what George Foreman still has left. No question about it. It is the punch. It is still there after 10 years away from the ring. This is early in the 4th round. Somewhere inside, Hernandez gets shaken up. Foreman, we believe, had before this asked the referee to stop it. The ordained minister, civilized in the ring, asking for the ref to step in. And Hernandez, the gloves are down, continued to try to shake his head, tries to wrestle his way from the referee. And this is how the referee saw it at the end. The mouthpiece goes. Paul Venti, the referee, closing in, as is George Foreman. Hernandez could do nothing more than hold on. It was just a matter of time. And we'll come back for the exact time of the end of this, and we'll be talking to the defending, or the former heavyweight champion, George Foreman, next. To the Tropicana, George Foreman with the victory to go 55-2, his 52nd knockout. And for the time in that 4th round, let's go to Ed Darian.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Paul Venti stops this bout at 1 minute and 36 seconds of the 4th round, and the winner by a TKO, George Foreman. And let's have a nice round of applause for Carlos Hernandez. Let's hear it, Paul. We have a scheduled 4-round bout, my good friends. Stay with us.
And let's go into the ring now. Sean O'Grady and George Foreman, who's making the rounds. He congratulates the referee for finally stopping the fight, and now Foreman joins Sean.
It's all a miracle being interviewed by this young man.
George, he rocked you in the 1st round. Did you feel that?
Oh man, he hit me pretty hard. But the main thing is, I'm tired of fighting the Mike Tyson, fighting all these pretenders, guys who got to lift weights to become heavyweights, all of that thing. I want to fight Mike Tyson. The other guys, everybody's avoiding me, and it's time that I stop playing around with these kind of fights and take on real contenders and real champions. Mike Tyson and a whole bunch are avoiding me. That's a fact. I want my opportunity. I don't want to be playing around like this. This is pushed upon me because no fighter will take any challenge from me, top 10 or heavyweight. I'm happy to be in New Jersey. I had a wonderful time. I'm loving boxing. I'm having a great time. I'm older, just like wine. I'm getting better.
Tell me how you finished him there in that 3rd round. Here's a look at the first knockdown. Tell me how you set this punch up. Big uppercut, George.
Well, once you win, you shouldn't go around bragging about it. The thing is, I'm a dynamite puncher. I'm old and wise. I know all the tricks. He had the great Eddie Futch in his corner, and so that made him take a lot of chances he didn't need to take.
I sense that you came out in the 3rd round with more of a intent.
Well, as you get older, you warm up a little later. The young guys like to jump out there and start things, but I got a good defense to wait around. But the thing is, I got the job done. There was the help and grace of Charlie Shipes and all of my great trainers in Houston, Texas, and even my wife helped me out.